I shot fish! Woo!
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ryan Myers Expeditions. We just got out for our very first day of diving. We have an entire week planned, but this first trip, we got out here with Kirk from Bahamas Coffee Roasters, and he had mentioned he's got an AP spot. And guys, he delivered. We got a beautiful AP. We got a whole box full of fish. Like this before we get started, and then we'll see you in the water. We're heading to the land of endless reefs, crystal clear water, and big dumb fish to meet up with Sam's entire extended family for an epic week in our favorite place in the world, the Bahamas. The rest of the crew hasn't arrived yet, so Sam and I snuck out for an epic day of spearfishing. So there's really two ways to get a fish. Either I can get the fish right now on this dive, or I can not scare that fish away and maybe get it on a later dive. So when I saw this African Pompano from the surface right away, as soon as I hit the water, I knew that I don't want to chase after this fish. I'm gonna go down to the bottom and I'm gonna wait and see if that fish turns around and comes over to me. And that's exactly what he did. He came back over to me because I didn't scare him. And if I had gone down to the bottom and he just moved on and kept cruising his way, there's a really good chance that I would have bumped into him again on this spot, because we came here to look for this African Pompano. We know that they live here. So until I scare them away, they have a reasonable chance of sticking around. And so I really like to have that double option, that multiple opportunities at potentially getting this fish. This dive right now, or potentially later on. But if you chase after that fish, if you swim after him on the surface, if you go for that real quick, fast shot, you could bust him, you could scare him, and he's taken off, and you're never gonna see this fish again. Had a really nice easy fight here, was able to really wrangle this fish in using that belt reel, and then Sam was able to come down here and stick another shot in, without a doubt, me and Sam's favorite eating fish in the world.
Is that the one?
Yeah, just the one.
There's gonna be a bunch more.
How crazy is that, man? You were like, we'll go look for the APs, and then right there.
Every time. Doesn't matter the time of year, too.
Bro, that's so cool.
So Sam spotted this nice little Nassau grouper next, and he's sitting there right next to a hole. If she would have tried to come straight down from the top, there's a chance she might have got a shot off, or he might have just ducked down into his hole and be gone. Instead, she landed further away from the rock, crawled up nice and slowly, and made him feel comfortable enough to close the distance so she can get a really good shot with that pole spear.
Textbook, Samagram. Perfectly done. Perfectly done. Nice fish.
So handsome!
Without a doubt, one of my favorite parts about diving the Bahamas is how many spots there are spread out over such a vast period of space, and how shallow the majority of those spots are. And it really makes me be able to get down there to the bottom in this, like, 40, 50 feet, whatever this is, really generally pretty shallow for what I'm used to diving, and almost go to sleep down on their bottom and just truly relax and wait and kind of see what comes in, but more importantly, just enjoy the reef and enjoy being down there. And again, this comes back to that principle that I like to do, which is I like to move fast, but I like to dive really slow. And there's so many spots out here all over the Bahamas that you've got to try and hit as many as you can throughout the day. But then when you're on these spots, I like to move as slowly as possible and really take my time, relax down there on the bottom, wait and see if those mutton snappers come around, and overall just enjoy the dive experience, which is kind of why we're all here to begin with. So on this dive right here, I can see a nice little hogfish, perfect target for Sam. And I'm trying to point it out. I'm trying to send her down here to the bottom with me so that I could film her shoot it. So I keep telling her to come down here. It's just cruising around, happy as a clam. You can see how I could have taken this fish at any point. And that's because he's comfortable with me down there on the bottom. I've made him super relaxed. Just like I am. If I'm relaxed down there, the fish are relaxed down there. And that's just such an important principle for all of your spearfishing, pretty much anywhere in the world. So eventually I had to go back up. I can't stay down there forever. And then when I got to the surface, Sam went back down, and you can see right here on her way to the bottom, she's gonna load that spear. She gives it that nice little twist. That way she's ready when she gets to the bottom because she knows that there is a target down there. And that kind of brings me to like, do you load on the surface? Do you load on the bottom? Do you load when you see a fish? And I like to do really, really long, relaxed dives. So for me, if I'm diving deep or if I'm hunting for a long time on the bottom, I don't load. I get down to the bottom, I'll wait until I kind of see a target to load. But if I'm diving down and I do see a fish, I'm gonna load and be ready for it. So Sam is able to kind of cruise after that fish. He does not want anything to do with her, no matter how relaxed she is down there on the bottom, but she's able to close that gap and stick another fish.
That's good. They're chunky little hog. Huh?
We had a lot of people to feed and not much time to do it, so every little fish mattered. I really like taking the skills that I've learned other places and then taking them back to these places that I've kind of like grown up hunting. And coming from Hawaii to the Bahamas, I mean, really you have two polar opposite conditions, you know? Hawaii, it's perfectly clear, warm water, just like the Bahamas, but the fish are so brilliant. There's so few of them out here, and they get hit so hard that they all are freaking college educated. Over here in the Bahamas, it's kind of the opposite. There's so many fish that have never seen people before. But if you hunt properly the same way that you do in Hawaii, a lot of times those little bit smarter fish, those mutton snappers, will come in a lot closer. And that's definitely one of my favorite fish to target over here. I like to go down here, hide just over the edge, and really see how close I can get these fish to come to us. I talked these guys into letting me drop out in like 80 feet of water, and I had never been there before. All I did was get on the satellite chart, and I was like, okay, there's kind of some rocks out here, that's all I need. Let's go over there, drop me in the water, let's see what happens. This reef was not perfect, you know, didn't have a lot of change on it, which what I mean by that is it was kind of like the same type of reef over and over. There weren't any big edges or ledges, but I didn't have a lot of time, and I was able to get down and do a couple drops. And when I do that, I'm looking for fish that I don't see from the surface. So I'll get down here and I'll see what I can attract over to me by being super slow and relaxed. You can hear I went down to the bottom, I did my little bit of dusting, and I did those grunts. And if I don't see any sharks around, I'll be perfectly fine to throw out a few grunts, and sometimes those groupers or those muttons will come from really far away, and they'll come over and they'll check you out, especially if you're nice and relaxed down there on the bottom. And that's kind of exactly what happened right here. I'm down here, I hadn't seen anything yet. I'm doing those really nice slow rotations of my head, back and forth. My spear is not loaded at all, and I'm just kind of looking back and forth to see what pops up. And then right here over my right shoulder, that monster mutton snapper shows up, and I'm really, really slow. I'm like, I gotta get this thing loaded. This is the trophy of trophies. This has gotta be like a 15-pound mutton. And I load up, and right here, I don't know what happens. He slow-mo ninja dodged me or something, but I just barely clipped his cheek, and he brushed it right off him, only scraping off a few scales. Shipwrecks are such a blast to find in the Bahamas because there's just not that many of them. You know, I don't know what it is, but the conditions, or maybe there's just not as much traffic as there is out here in South Florida, but we just don't see that many shipwrecks. And every time there's one around and someone's like, hey, there's a shipwreck over here, I'm like, let's go, I want to see it, let's go see what's there. We had a blast swimming all around this one, but unfortunately nothing there to shoot. So again, in that short amount of time that we had, we tried to dive as many different spots as possible. I like to move fast, and I like to hunt slow, and this was exactly there again. I managed to convince these guys, drop me out on one of the spots that they knew that was maybe 80 foot plus, and it was just kind of this real scattered bottom, which again, you can't see the fish from the surface. So all you're doing is looking for reef, and then doing nice dives down to the bottom, doing your scratching, doing your grunting, and waiting to see what appears out of nowhere. And this was just like that mutton snapper dive. I didn't see anything, just a little bit of rock, a little bit of reef down there, and I get down to the bottom, I do my dusting, I do my grunting, and this hog came in from I don't know how far away, but it was definitely the biggest hog we saw all day. So I'm really relaxed on the bottom, I'm chilling, he's coming over to see what I am. Am I food? Am I a threat? Is there something happening over there that I should be aware of? And he comes over and he comes real freaking close, and I'm able to put a perfect little headshot in there. And definitely, again, one of the best fish that come out of the Bahamas is these hogfish, and this guy was coming home with us for dinner.
Tell you all about my fish. This fish was so sweet. He was like, hello, I'm here, welcome to my home, come on in. And then I shot him in the gills.
Tell me about the difference between your Hawaii fishing and right here.
In my Hawaii fishing, I shoot small fish. In my here fishing, I shoot bigger fish, but they're still considered small fish for what they are.
All right guys, back at the dock now. Really awesome day there. Anytime I get to bump into one of these African Pompanos, it is incredibly special. So I got that one. Kirk stuck a nice yellow jack here. Nice yellow tail. Got a handful of hogs. Sam's Nassau. Sam, what is your plan? How are we gonna cook these things?
A woman without a plan. I don't know. Ceviche style or ceviche style with Scotch bonnet peppers. Ooh.
Okay guys, clearly Sam has no clue how we're gonna cook these fish, but we got a whole crew back at home. There's all the cousins are flying in like right this second.
The ferry boat just showed up with my entire family on it. Hi! Also, you're on candid camera.
What up? Hey Sam, how are you?
Wait, I want to make sure I get in this sushi video.
We have that beautiful African Pompano, and we're doing one of the recipes that we love to do that easily feeds a lot of people. Rice, then beans, then your layer of fish, then your layer of mango chutney on top of the fish, and then your layer of green goodness, and it turns into a fantastic feast that's able to feed so many people very easily. So that's what we're making right now.
I ruined the rice. We're getting rid of it.
No. Tell me what's going on, bro.
Yo, we're just cooking some yellow rice, but I cannot take the lid off. The lid stays on for the yellow rice.
Or what?
Oh, it's ruined if you take it off. You want to see? You want a sneak peek? Sneak peek.
Oh, so bad!
Hey, what is
This has sour cream in it, so for the non-sour cream ears, use the guacamole in the fridge.
Vegan because I don't like Sam's boyfriend, Ryan Myers, and I just want to do anything to piss him off. So, you know, there we go. Good to go. Boom.
What do you think?
It looks delicious. Can't wait to try it.
The vegan version.
What is that?
Yumminess. Plant-powered.
I got this vegan gas on me. It's looking great. Are we feeling good?
It's delicious. It's really good.
You got your yellow rice, you got your black beans.
The black beans this time is my uncle's secret recipe.
Absolutely. Then you've got your grilled fish, then you have your mango chutney, then you have your green goodness, and all together it turns into a fantastic feast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, and we'll see you next time right here on Ryan Myers Expeditions.
The beans are good.